Hello and good day, students. My name is Yasir Gulfraz, and I'm your tutor for today's session, which is Law for Accounting. This is our last session for Law for Accounting, and we are going to discuss assignments brief today. So we'll be discussing the requirements and important points for your assignment on law on law for accounting, and I'll guide you through the steps to successfully complete it. So let's start it. Important points. Take a specific organization to start the assignment, PPT or report. So to start your assignment, you need to select a specific organization to focus on throughout your work. This could be any company or organization that interests you and has relevant financial information available for analysis. Introduction to the chosen company organization. Begin your assignment with an introduction to the company you have chosen. Provide a brief overview of the organization's background, its industry size, and any other relevant information. This will give your audience context for the rest of your assignment. Proper heading, give proper heading and subheadings. So proper headings and subheadings, organize your assignment with clear and logical headings and subheadings. This will help you present your information in a structured and easy to follow manner. Ensure that your document looks presentable and professional. Then numbering of figures, number your figures and tables. So numbering of figures and tables, whenever you include figures or tables, your assignment, in your assignment, make sure to number them for easy reference. So this will help readers quickly locate the information they need. Then follow the numbering on the assignment presentation as against the brief. Presentation numbering, adhere to the numbering mentioned in the assignment presentation as it aligns with the assignment brief. This will help you stay on track and cover all the required points. References should be in Harvard style. So Harvard style in academic writing, proper referencing is crucial. For this assignment, you must include at least 12 to 15 references. So also remember to use the Harvard style for referencing, both in your text citations and in the reference list or bibliography list. End of your assignment. Any question if anyone is there? Anyone is there? Okay. Word counts here. Keep a check on word count. Word count and tolerance. Pay attention to the word count requirements for each section of your assignment. Ensure that you stay within the specified word limit with a tolerance limit of 20% plus or minus. So task 1 report and tasks 2 report, both should be in Word documents. So make sure that do not use PDF file. So 2,500 words for task 1 report and 1,500 words for your task 2 report. Read the task tips, useful tips. So here I'll emphasize that these are just guidelines and you should review the assignments brief carefully to ensure you cover all the required points when researching and writing. Also, remember to critically analyze the financial aspects of your chosen organizations, drawing on credible sources to support your arguments. Command of verbs. When you start your assignment, read the task carefully. Start by carefully reading the assignment task, understand what is being asked you in each section. So pay attention to command verbs as they provide important that cues on how to approach each task. Command verbs focus on the command verbs used in the tasks. These verbs guides you on how to address the question effectively. So for example, if he's talking about explain, define, describes, assess, examine, clarify, analysis, this should be in 100 to 120 words. This is 175 to 100. And if he's asking for a compare, contrast, critically evaluate, should be 200 to 300 words. Next is Harvard referencing system. Can you tell me, please, Harvard references, if anyone is there? Okay, for your reference, follow the Harvard reference style with author, date, citation, citations. For example, in text citation, you should look like the Slack, Johnston, Brandon Jones, and author names, and then year 2001. Like here, can you see that Slack, Johnston? In the reference towards in the end, it will come as shown. So you must ensure you include a minimum of 6 references from various sources such as books, journals, articles, and website in your bibliography. Also give proper headings and subheadings here. Proper headings and subheadings is talking about. So give proper headings and subheadings. Make sure documents look presentable and professional. So word limits are 3,500 plus minus 10. Plagiarism or tolerance similarity must be below 20%. So assignment declaration, which is you have to sign it off with your name, student number, course name, and assignment name. Then scenario. So let's consider the scenario for your assignment. You are a junior assistant in here. If you read that, it says you are a junior assistant in an accountancy firm dealing with small and medium-sized businesses. Your task is to conduct an initial review of certain cases for your partner, identifying issues, discussing potential solutions, and providing legal opinions based on relevant case law. So as you write your report for each case, remember to cover all legal points, thoroughly discuss legal issues, and offer your well-supported opinions where appropriate. Task 1, which covers learning outcome 2, sections, sections 2.1, 2.2, and 2D1. So here, task 1, which focuses on providing advice to our client, Jody Hart, who has started a new training business. So Jody seeks to guidance on various issues related to her business. Let's address each of these points. Formation of a limited company. Jody is contemplating whether to establish her business as a limited company. However, she lacks knowledge of what this entails. To address this, we need to analyze the requirements of company law concerning the formation, financing, and administration of companies. Company formation. In this scenario, you explore how a company is formed as per the Companies Act 2006. We will discuss the process of setting up a limited company, which includes registering the company with the necessary authorities and obtaining a certificate of incorporations. Advantages and disadvantages. Here you weigh the advantages and disadvantages of forming a limited company. Advantages may include you can talk about limited liability protection for shareholders and potential tax benefit. On the other hand, you consider drawbacks such as increased administrative requirements and public disclosure of company information. So administration of companies, the explore of administration of companies. Explore the administration aspects, which include holding a board meeting, maintaining proper record keeping, and fulfilling obligations like filling the company confirmation statement. This ensures compliance with the company law and helps the business run smoothly. So any questions so far, if anyone is there? Okay, so next is analyze the role and responsibilities of company directions, officers, and shareholders. 2.2. Analyzing the roles and responsibilities, we will explore the roles and responsibilities of company directors and officers, such as the company secretary. This involves understanding their legal duties, such as acting in good faith, exercising reasonable care, and promoting the company's success. Duties of shares. Talk about the duties of the shareholders. You discuss the duties of shareholders who are the owners of the company. Their responsibility may include attending general meetings, voting on significant matters, and participating in decisions that impact the company's direction. So to supplement your understanding, you can read a blog on the company's house website that covers the role of directors in a company. So here the link is, and if you want to read about role of company directors and you want to read about more about company formations and company laws, you can visit this link. Also, keep in your mind that company law and the roles of key individuals within a company is essential for any inspiring entrepreneur. So I encourage you to conduct further research and refer to the presentation slides provided to enhance your knowledge. So to gain a distinctions, your report must analyze aspect of capital maintenance. Here, analyzing aspect of capital maintenance, if you want to gain a distinction, so not pass, not merit, but if you want over 70% distinction, you need to analyze aspect of capital maintenance. So in this section, you focus on the share capital of a company, limited company, which serves as a buffer for creditors. You discuss the rules and procedures for private limited companies concerning the maintenance of capital, which prevents a company from reducing its capital and returning it to its members directly or indirectly. Specifically, you address the reduction of capital under section 641 of the Company Acts 2006, which is this includes reduce or cancel liabilities. So reducing or canceling liabilities on partially paid shares where the company relinquishes any claims for money owing. So return capital in excess of all company needs, which involves the company reducing its assets by repaying cash to its shareholders. Next is canceling the paid up capital that is no longer represented by the assets, which allows the company to write off debts balances on reserves and not to be liable for past losses. Number 10 scenario, learning outcome 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1 MI1 and 1 D1. So again, scenario involving Jody and Harry, elements of contracts and agency relationship. So to advise Jody in this situation, you need to analyze the elements and nature of contractual agreements and explore the principle of agency and their impact on business practices. Your report must analyze the elements and nature of contractual agreement, which is 1.1, refer to presentation slides, learning outcome 1s 9 to 16, explain the principle of agency and their impact on business practices, which is 1.2. So refer to presentation slides of level 1, LO 117 to 22. So analyzing elements and nature of contractual agreement, in this section, you examine the elements required for a valid contract. This include offer, acceptance, consideration, intention to create legal relations and capacity. So we will also discuss the nature of contractual agreement and how they form the basis of legally binding relationships. You remember to refer to the presentation slides for learning outcome 1 from slides. You can look at your learning outcome one slides from 9 to 16 to support your analysis in this section. To gain a merit, next one is a merit. Your report must assess the validity of the contract and refer to presentation slides of learning outcome 128 to 23. Assessing the validity of contract for merit, for those aiming to a merit, it is essential to assess the validity of the contract in the scenario. Based on the elements of a valid contract, you determine if a legally binding agreement exists between Jody and Harry. You consider if the essential elements have been fulfilled to create a valid contract. So remember to refer to the presentation slides for learning outcome 1s from slide 28 to 30 to support analysis in this section. To gain a distinction, your report must, again, we discussed above, achieve a that to achieve a distinction and merit in your report, you cover evaluating the implication of an agency relationship, analyzing data protection legislation and intellectual property rights, and discussing the law of tort and employment law. Evaluating the implications of agency relationship. To gain a distinction, you need to evaluate the implication of the agency relationship for both the principal, Jody, and the agent, John. So in this context, the principal-agent relationship refers to the arrangement where Jody, the principal, legally appoints her brother John, the agent, to act on her behalf in negotiating with Harry, the seller, for the purchase of office furniture and equipment. So we explored this scenario. We must analyze the responsibilities and liabilities of both the principal and the agent in this agency relationship. So you assess potential conflicts of interest, the duty of loyalty and care, and how the actions of the agent can legally bind the principal. Also remember to refer to the presentation slides for learning outcomes 1 from slides 30 to 32 to support your evaluation. Any question if anyone is there? Okay. Any question if anyone is there? Okay. So learning outcome 4, analyzing data protection legislation, moving on your focus on Judy's concerns about information and intellectual property in her business. We need to analyze the requirement of data protection legislation to advise Judy on how to handle personal details of trainees and comply with data protection laws. Explaining intellectual property protection. Next, you discuss how intellectual property, including Judy's training material, can be protected. You explore the concept of copyright law and its application to her original content. Refer to the presentation slides for learning outcomes 2 from slides 4 to 25, 14 to 25. And the IPO guideline for further context. You can visit this link. Any question if anyone is there? Yeah, so you can see for intellectual property guidelines here, you can visit this one. So to gain a merit, also your report must assess the importance of intellectual property rights to business. So here you need to broadly cover copyrights, trademarks, patent, trade secrets. Assessing the importance of intellectual property law for those aiming for a merit, you must assess the importance of intellectual property rights to businesses, broadly cover copyrights, trademarks, patents, and trade secrets. Also, additionally, discuss the 3 methods of valuing intellectual property: cost-based, market-based, and income-based valuations. Here, cost-based valuations, market-based valuations, and income-based valuations. Here he is talking about a law of tort as well. So explaining the law of tort and remedies available, let's focus on the incident where one of Jody's employees caused a fire at a training event, leading to injuries and potential lawsuit. So we need to explain the law of tort and the remedies available in such situations. This includes the legal consequences and liabilities of the employee's actions and the remedies sought by the injuries parties, assessing employment law relating to employment, contracts, and terminations. Also, your report must explain the law of tort and remedies available and assess the impact of legislations relating to employment. So in this part, you assess the impact of employment legislations on the incident, discuss how employment contracts are governed, the employee's dismissal, and the legal consideration that apply to such termination decisions. Any questions so far? If anyone is there? Okay, so task 2. Let's move on to task 2, which involves providing advice to Day Loan Limited, a small loan companies facing insolvency and potential criminal charges. So you explore the insolvency process, legal principles, legislations, ethical codes, malpractice, fraud, bribery, money laundering, and cybercrime. So learning outcomes 2.3, learning outcome 3, 3.1, 2, 3, and 4. So here it says your report must explain the process of insolvency for business organizations, referred to LO2, slides 27 to 32. Analyze the relationship between legal principles, legislation, case laws, and ethical codes. 3.1, referred to learning outcome 2, presentation slides 4 to 16. Explain the elements and consequences of malpractice, fraud, bribery in business organizations. 3.2, referred to learning outcome presentation slide 17 to 24. Also explain offenses and penalties related to money laundering, referred to learning outcome 3, presentation slides 25 to 30. Also explain offenses and penalties related to computer misuses and cyber crimes. 3.2, refer to learning outcome 3, presentation slide 31 to 42. Explaining the insolvency, here if I explain a bit in my own words. So explaining the insolvency process for business organization, to start, we need to explain the process of insolvency for business organizations. Insolvency refers to financial state where a company cannot meet its financial obligations and liabilities as they become due. In this context, you discuss Dayloan Limited's insolvency situation, where they owe a large amount of corporation tax and possess assets subject to fixed and floating charges. So, analyzing the relationship between legal principles, legislation, case law, and ethical codes, you analyze the relationship between legal principle, legislation, case law, and ethical codes. Explaining elements of and consequences of malpractice. Here, malpractice, fraud, and bribery in business organization. Address the allegations Dayloan Limited is facing, such as poor lending practices, bribing a government official, and unauthorized access to competitor computers. So discuss the potential legal implications and penalties they may encounter. So explaining offenses, penalty related to money laundering. In this section, you need to explain the offenses and penalties related to money laundering. As Dayloan Limited is under investigation for money laundering, it is crucial to understand the legal consequences they may face. And next is explain offenses and penalties related to computer misuse and cyber crimes. So you explore offenses and penalties related to computer misuse and cyber crimes, giving Dayloan to Limited's unauthorized access to competitors' computers. Understanding the legal implications of cybercrime is essential. So you need to discuss potential penalties they may encounter due to their actions. So here, to gain merit, again, advice on insolvency process for a given section, situation, AC2M1, refer to learning outcome 2, presentation slides 33 to 34. Read about bankruptcy, DRO, dent and relief order, IVA, individual voluntary arrangement or insolvency help, debts advice, restructuring debts. So advising on the insolvency process for a given situation for merit, for those aiming for a merit, you must advise on the insolvency process for day loan limited specific situation. Discuss options such as bankruptcy, debt relief order, individual voluntary arrangement, or IVAs, and the insolvency help, including there is a debt relief orders, which is DRO as well. So individual voluntary arrangement, IVAs also, and insolvency help, including debt advice and restructuring debts. So you need to refer to this presentation slides for learning outcomes 2 from slide 33 to 34 to provide well-informed advice. So plenary references and citations, and for everything, refer to the ebooks, journals on the Moodle for this unit. Assignment submission is after 2 weeks of the completion of the units and its delivery. It's mean that from today you have 2 weeks to submit your assignment. If using UK Versity slides, then the referencing will be as below. If you are using UK Versity slides, you can use business environment 2021 or learning outcome. If you are picking things from learning outcomes 2 or 1 or 3 or 4, you just write like this, learning outcome 2 2021. When you will come down to bibliography or end of the assignment references, business environment LO2 slide number 210 UK Versity. Submission of assignment to be done on learnerwork@ukversity.com. Email is here, or any queries, please email to Raman. Or if you have any question, please drop me an email at yasir@ukversity.co.uk. That's it for now. And thank you very much for attending my sessions. And have a good evening and good weekend. And bye for now. Thank you very much. Bye.